I watched a really interesting video last night on YouTube, and it was about a guy who was fighting the post-war development across the UK. He'd actually been a pilot, he'd flown over the UK and he'd seen the destruction going off, the post-war building, and decided to actually fight it. And he came up with the term Subtopia, which was a combination of utopia and whatever. But you can just see there, that's the tallest building in Sheffield. It's got zero personality. That strange silver looking building is a car park. That's taking you up to Pinston Street. But there's always an oasis in the middle of all of this. This is what we should be seeing around Sheffield more. So there's a pub, the Red Lion. But what I've come to show you is the new development going off down at Howard Street. It's all university again. It's no benefit to the majority of us in Sheffield, and it's not much benefit to students who are only going to be loading themselves with debt, coming out with absolutely worthless qualifications. Number of people I've met in warehouses or at Tesco, they've got degrees and they're stacking shelves at the end of it all. They've got no work experience. There's about 4 buildings around here, and you'll see the plans for the area. It's just all university around here. Well, I'll show you the view back down here in a minute, and you can just see how planners lack personality. That's another university building up there. And if I just quickly zoom right the way down here, find me some personality down there. Subtopia, extreme. Everything's square. It all looks the same. What's it going to look like in 30 years? I mean, we had all the developments in the 50s and 60s. I'll look at them now. You can see, like I said, there's always a bit of an oasis, the Globe pub. You can see it's all just university around here. We're on Howard Street now. It's completely been destroyed, Howard Street. See the Globe pub there. This used to be a lovely walk up from town, or from the train station, when I used to come dancing on a Saturday afternoon, a tea dance, which they no longer have at the City Hall. But it used to be a lovely walk up here, and there used to be water flowing down here, and how many years later it don't work anymore. It used to really chill you out with the flowing water. You can see how long that's not being used. The problem is, I went to Works at college once for a piano recital, and I looked at what it was like in Works at college, and it was just so positive, so uplifting. How can you, if people study in places like this, what we're going to be turning out Jobsworths. So there's another picture of it here. You can get an artist impression. You can see like the 4 round objects in that photo. It's a stainless steel thing. Well, it was originally. It was the art museum. Sorry, the music museum, which didn't last very long. I don't know how much that cost. Was it 20 million quid? Made out of stainless steel. Well, that doesn't quite look the same, but that could just be the artist's impression. But I think Howard Street once used to run much further up. There's 4 new main buildings being built here. All Sheffield City Council seem concerned about are students, pandering to students, and the clean air zone. I did a 4-year apprenticeship at British Steel, and I personally believe I came out with far more than I would have done if I took a degree back then. Because as well as doing 2 years in a training centre, 2 years on plant, day release at college to do an HNC, that was just far superior to any degree out there. So we got the Howard Hotel there, it used to be called the Howard Hotel, train station over there. So we've still got a bit of something round here, the showroom cinema and everything, nice building with some personality. Then here we've got what was the History Museum for Music. I don't really know what it is now. It doesn't look particularly nice, even when it was first built. Fancy being in there all day studying or whatever. But my belief is architecture should uplift you, should make you think out of the box. All this is doing is putting you back in the box. I think the university's got paid money for pushing the CO2 warming agenda, not because it's scientifically true, but because they got paid for it. But imagine it's a really warm sunny day, and on a warm sunny day you feel uplifted anyway, don't you? Well, I do anyway. But I think we've missed a massive opportunity in Sheffield to move from the more polluted type industries and to re-establish new sort of industries. And I'm not talking about the fake stuff, I'm on about proper real industry, things that we need on an everyday level. So it's looking more like London every day with these sort of things. You need them because people don't come from Sheffield, so they need to know where they're going. It's just a transient population, don't love the city like we all loved it. I come here for the degree and then they'll clear off. But they'll have voted in between, so they're having a say on our city when they're not even going to be here for the rest of their lives. There's some recognisable. There would have been light industry around here. But I'm sort of positive about the future. I know we've got all this awful junk. I've seen a a video in France where one area of France was very communist, and then they changed the government and they actually changed the architecture of the place. The view down there, look at it. Blocking out St Mary's Church down there. Yeah, so this area of France was very communist, changed its government and completely changed its architecture, and they removed the awful flats and provided really fantastic living accommodation that looked real, looked so it got character about it. So that's it, just a quick view around Subtopia. Now I think the most of the damage in Sheffield was done not during the war, but other than places like Angel Street, Bottom of High Street and the Moor, I think it was done post-war, completely eradicated. And the video I saw last night by the guy, and I'll put his name in the actual description, he was talking about Newcastle. He was a Londoner, but he loved Newcastle, and it made his heart bleed what they did to Newcastle after the war. And somehow on his birth or his death certificate, even though he was born in London, on his birth certificate he got Newcastle put on it. How he managed, I don't know. So that's it, just a quick tour around Subtopia in Sheffield.